Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Nick, your host of On the Scene with Martini. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget, you are the scene. Hey guys, what's up? It's Nick, On the Scene with Martini. Today I got Brooks from Avenged Sevenfold and John from Tenacious, collectively known as Missoula. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
How are you?
Thank, Good. Thank you guys so much for choosing me as your debut interview. I really appreciate it. Very
Thanks
cool
for
we were able
having
to
us.
connect.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I just want to get started onto like how you guys met because you guys are both pretty prominent in the music industry, but kind of coming together. Did you guys tour together before? Like, what was the relationship prior to forming this band?
John?
Uh, we played together in Tenacious D. Brooks played in the Pick a Destiny tour cycle, and some of the Rise of the Phoenix cycle, maybe
Yeah. I
early parts of it.
yeah, I'd say at least the first year of Rise of the Phoenix.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then everybody's probably the most iconic Tenacious D record of them all, called Simply Jazz. Um, we also worked on that together.
So did you guys kind of keep a relationship over those years, or
Yeah, we've been buddies ever since. Brooks we started a cover band called Rothschild that we all played in together for a long time and still do.
what prompted you guys to start Missoula then? Like, was there just a moment where you guys were just jamming and it kind of developed into something more? You guys thought you guys kind of had something to go off on?
I'd say the birth of Missoula uh, began with a bunch of ideas that were either throwaway um, uh, ideas with other bands that I've played in, or just stuff that normally wouldn't work with um, like Avenged. So I had all these just archival ideas that I started working on um, in between tours, and then I just reached out to John to see if he would be interested in adding his spark to it. So yeah, because when I'm home, I'm just constantly working on music, and I've always wanted to make an instrumental record, and John and I have talked about it in the past. So yeah, it just felt like the right time to pursue. Um, we start what, like 2 years ago at this by this by this point.
It might have been a little longer than that, even.
Yeah.
It might have been a few years ago. Yeah, and we've only just recently even played in a room together
Oh, really?
with this stuff.
Yeah,
It
Literally,
started,
I think 3 weeks ago was the first time we've played as Missoula.
that's cool.
Yeah.
yeah. It was very much like Brooks was saying, it was like these great little like starts to nuggets, but like a lot of them, they were clearly not made for the same thing. So they were sort of ran the gamut of all this, and uh, and he sent me a few of them, and we just basically started building them remotely, and it was a really fun process because I think from the very beginning we were both like, I don't think there's any rules here. This is like,
Yeah.
let's just, there's no reason to do this other than to explore the depths of our respective creativity and just have fun writing and building these crazy arrangements. Um, and that was kind of where it came from. But yeah, we never actually even got in a room until a few weeks ago.
That's awesome. I love to hear. I love to hear like bands having that like kind of compatibility so quickly. I recently had a band called Next, which has members from Day Trader and Crime and Stereo, and they recorded a whole album away from each other and then like played their first shows together for like that was like their first
Mhm.
time. So it's cool to kind of see that collaboration. Did you guys ever have experience then kind of doing that instrumental albums, or was this a little bit different in terms of like process of creation for you guys?
I'd say it was definitely different in the sense that, I mean, I started working on this during the pandemic, so I don't think we really had a choice but to be in our respective studios and bounce ideas off of each other. So I think it was definitely, different in the sense that we were separate, and every band situation I've been involved in, we've always been in a room hashing out ideas. So I think, yeah, it was freeing in the sense that, I just had all the time in the world to work on these ideas and bounce it off to John. So I'd say I mean, have you ever done a record like this, John?
Long, long, long time. I've done like 30 years ago or so, when I was like a teenager or
You're
whatever.
like 5 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like 5 years old. I did a jazz fusion record,
I was
but
-7.
not. I've always wanted to. I mean, I've always wanted to make. I mean, so I play fingerstyle acoustic guitar. So I've put out fingerstyle acoustic music before, but never where I've gone in and multi-tracked guitars and played to full, with the idea of a full band arrangement. So I definitely have always wanted to do it. Um, so yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Not having to worry, if you will, about like vocalists and lyrics and kind of like almost relying on someone else's style because it's kind of easier for the band to change their style in comparison to a vocalist. Did you guys find it more fun to play around with like the arrangements and to get a little bit more creative than you might not respectively be able to in your other projects?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely with the arrangements. I mean, it's not your verse, chorus, bridge, chorus out. I don't even think we have that traditional format on this record, which is, exciting. Um, and we have a lot of, like soundscapes too, where, we'll start with a groove and then just it'll turn into this cinematic wet dream, for lack of a better phrase, but still a pretty good phrase. Um, so yeah, it was, you definitely have to think differently. But I also want to add, I mean, both John and I are huge like prog fans. We both love Alan Holdsworth, Zappa, John McLaughlin. So, I think being influenced by that, but then also keeping these songs under 2 minutes, 3 minutes, which gives it kind of that pop format, which you never hear in a prog setting, I think kind of sets us apart from the normal, prog experience. So, and I was intentional on definitely keeping it under 2 to 3 minutes because, a lot of my favorite records, I love the playing, but it just becomes a little self-indulgent after a while.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what would it be like to have, you know, these prog parts, but just, in a kind of a pop format with the time.
From a time perspective too, like I also as a big record collector, like I will say about like the older albums that sometimes the songs might be a little bit drawn out. It is nice not having to get up to flip the disc so often. That is one positive for it. But
Yeah,
that's funny that you kind of brought that up because that was my next topic because I had the pleasure of already listening to the album through your PR. So I did notice that a lot of times you kind of do seem that more drawn out kind of style, even though we still might like it. Sometimes after 8 minutes of a song, you're like, okay, we gotta move on from here. So
yeah,
it's cool that you guys were intentional about that.
yeah,
Yeah, and a lot of like a jazz or like fusion record would also be all about like showcasing solos, and that's a big part of the arrangement. And like we never once there's not a single arrangement on this that like is set up in that way where it's like now this person takes a solo, now this person takes it's like there might be a solo somewhere in it, but it's more about the arrangement as a whole being this like uh, ingestible length.
Mhm.
So with you guys not being together, so you guys didn't record anything together, then it was kind of like sending in parts. Did you
Not
guys
one. No.
like mix and master yourselves, or did you guys go through someone as well that kind of gave you a little bit direction with the project?
A great mixer by the name of Andy Carpenter, uh, who I've worked with prior to Missoula on just various sessions. Um, Mixed the whole record except for one song. John Spiker, who's actually in Missoula in the live band, mixed that song. But yeah, Andy is fantastic, and yeah, so we wouldn't dare take on the engineering mix responsibility.
Neither of us are like are big like gear people or like
Mm,
really, like I think the actual process of recording is kind of a drag.
yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
really like knob twiddlings and stuff like that. I kind of just want to play. So,
Well, and
and
also by the time that you fix whatever
yeah,
technical problem there is, especially with my instrument, I'm so uninspired 8 hours later after I, go on YouTube tutorials on how to fix whatever fucking Pro Tools snag there is.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, that is the downside to recording, but that's just par for the course, right?
yeah.
Having your guys like respective bands before, was Missoula kind of, are you guys viewing this more, obviously you guys are taking it serious, but are you guys using it more as like a fun thing for you guys like to be able to step away from like your more heavy touring and that kind of thing just to play with friends and just kind of enjoy music in a different way?
I mean, for me, I don't consider this. I can't speak for you, John, but I do not consider this a side project. I consider this, you know, equally as important as any record that I've played on because we worked, really hard on it. Blood, sweat, and tears on both sides. So, yeah, I mean, I this is definitely not a one-off, and we plan on touring with this eventually, and so yeah, I very much am all in on this.
Yeah, I'm super proud of it too. I think in the beginning it might have been like, oh, this is just kind of a fun thing, but then I remember just starting to listen back to stuff after like we'd step away from it for a while or go on tour or get busy with other things, and I'd come back, and each time I came back, it was like, oh, I really love this. Like we're doing some like cool stuff,
Mhm.
and super into it, and it's like I'm obviously on hiatus with Tenacious D, so um, I like for me, yeah, I'm like this is really it's kind of a dream project in a weird way if you like to play.
For sure.
It's a player's record.
For sure. And I didn't mean to any disrespect, by the way. I want to preface that. It's just a lot of times we see kind of, if you will, like super groups come together, they play like one album, everyone falls in love with it, and then they're like, fuck it, we're done. And you know what I mean? Like that, they never do the tour or
Yeah,
they go
like,
back to like
but
their normal routine or whatever. So
Yeah,
it's cool
I've
that you guys
done.
are all
Yeah,
in with that.
I've I've seen that does happen a lot, and I think it's sometimes it's hard to find the time. For some
Hmm.
bands who tour heavily, and you just sort of want to scratch an itch, and that's totally fine as well. But yeah, I think we're in a little heavier than just that. Um,
and yeah, when we first started playing these songs only a few weeks ago, I think it reinforced, like no, this is a real, this is going to be a real thing here. So I think it definitely lit a fire as well.
yeah, we really weren't sure if we were going to be able to even perform the music just because of how layered it is, but we've found some workarounds that were really exciting when we realized that they actually work.
Yeah,
Um,
John's
yeah,
pedal board has expanded.
It's expanded
How many
slightly.
pedals
The
are we
powerhouse.
at?
Yeah, it's not that crazy, but there's definitely like some looping and stuff going on. But we found some ways to make it work that are really fun. So that's cool. But yeah, if I make a mistake, the entire thing falls apart. So we have to figure out how to work around that. But but it's fun. I mean, like it's fun to be challenged if you're again like somebody who just likes to play and still enjoys their instrument and stuff. Like, um, it's easy to just lean into doing the same shit you did all the,
Hmm.
whatever. But like to actually get out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself still and everything is required if you really do enjoy playing.
Do you feel like this album kind of creatively challenged you guys in a different way than maybe past works have?
Yeah, for sure.
What was like one of the biggest challenges that you guys face? I mean, distance is obviously one. It's probably tougher to play without someone in the room, like your respective partner. But was there anything that was like a hiccup in the road that you guys like were really stuck on, maybe in like a song or just putting together the entire piece or the direction you guys wanted to go with?
Um,
I'm sure there's a couple. I can't think of anything offhand, but yeah, I mean, it to me, it's similar to any creative process where, some of the songs came very fast, and then others, I'd have a verse of a song and then couldn't write a chorus, so I would reach out to John. So that's why, initially I wanted to do an instrumental record by myself, but I'm like, I'm kind of sick of just my ideas. So that's why I reached out to John because he just added so much more to this project. But um, yeah, can you think of anything, John,
um,
that we got hiccuped?
yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, thank you for the thank you for the praise. Um,
Sure,
it
man.
was a tough. I mean, sometimes like because there was such a variety of ideas, different things in different levels of completion. Sometimes it was challenging to figure out what to do as a guitar player because again, I didn't want to just noodle all over everything. I wanted to, Brooks had some cool guitar riffs already that I could find things to complement them, and a lot of like, more focusing on like writing melodies and guitar melodies or like a head, kind of thing for the song. Was not something that I had, done really ever. Writing guitar parts just to write it as though it were a vocal melody or something like that. That was a challenge, but it was a fun challenge, and I enjoyed doing that. But yeah, trying to find a way to make cohesion in it, even in its variety. Um, and I think some of that happens naturally, just with the way that you play, an individual plays. But yeah, it did. But I thought it came together pretty great. So super proud of it.
You guys mentioned prog earlier, kind of being like an influence of wanting to do this kind of record. Was there any other like genres or artists that you guys were kind of looking at that may have influenced the record as well? Because I feel like when I listen to it, like you hear jazz, you hear just like straight like instrumental people jamming. There's like a little bit of blues here and there. I feel like kind of mix and mingle with I don't want to say like defining genres, but you know what I mean? Like kind of taking a little bit here and there to make your record special.
I feel like everything I've listened to, everything I've admired and grown up listening to is kind of in this gumbo that we created, as far as everything from Zappa to there's even electronic elements, some grooves that kind of remind me of like Daft Punk at times, even though short.
Hmm.
But I'm really into electronic music too. So yeah, contrast is a big thing with me. Like I love just juxtaposing different, dissimilar styles that would normally not work together. And if I could find that sweet spot, then I can sleep better at night. But but yeah, I mean, for me, that's you know, and going back to just the freedom of creating this project of not having someone breathing down your neck, just going, there should be a hook there,
Mhm.
was nice to take on.
Yeah, that was a very liberating thing. And stylistically, I feel like I didn't necessarily need to like pull from anything. I think that like a lot of the starts that came from Brooks, I think in this on this record, I think every start came from you, Brooks, right? I don't think that I started a single one.
Crimson, you did.
Oh, Crimson. Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
I
Yeah, that
said
was a
the
guitar
single.
riff.
I was going to add, actually took me some time to find, to go back to the question before, that particular song took me a while to find the grooves on that, um, and the space. So, but yeah, you did kick off Crimson.
Right. Oh yeah, but yeah. So the rest of them, though. Anyway, they all had like a. There was already once you know, as a writer or something, you listen to the thing and it sort of tells you what it is. And there is enough of an energy usually, and or a stylistic, um, just kind of it's giving you something. So yeah, just sort of inspired by the start of what was there was enough. And yeah, it covers the a pretty wide range. And yeah, Brooks and I both have a very wide range of musical interests. So um, we got to sort of explore anything, I think, with this that we wanted to. Really, there was no real rules.
To move on to like you guys having out the album June 26th,
Mhm.
uh, I want to talk to like for starters about like the album cover. Like what was the inspiration behind that? And I feel like just to go on the title, I feel like naming your first album with the word death in it isn't always the greatest approach because that's usually like your final album, you know what I mean? Like we're done, like that's the death of the band. So I just kind of wanted to hear like your backstory with the album art and then the title itself.
Yeah, we like to set the mood with our titles, such as Death Doula. Um, so the two hotties uh, with us on the cover is my mother-in-law and her sister Nancy. Um,
Nice.
so, and here's a little backstory with the name Missoula. About 25 years ago, I started a band called Missoula that lasted for a week. So when we were looking for a name, I always had Missoula in the back of my head. So John liked it, and it just seemed to fit. So there's that story, and then Death Doula rhymes with Missoula. So I thought, you know, maybe a little cheeky, but I just liked how it rolled off the tongue. So, which brings us to the grave site in Huntington Beach. It's actually where my parents are buried. I forgot the mortuary, but I don't know if we need that information on this.
Hey, whatever you guys want to share, I'm open for. I'm here to help promote
But,
the album and listen to your
we'll put
story.
the mortuary and the footnotes. But anyways, I thought it would be amusing to have my relatives in the photo with us, hence the name of the record, in front of a couple tombstones. So, and then John's lovely girlfriend Laura was the photographer, and she really just captured this beautiful sky as
Hmm.
the backdrop, and yeah. So I don't know. I'm into some interesting photography ideas, I think. But
It, I can tell you, being a longtime friend of Brooks, it very much like outlines his macabre sense of humor. And I loved the idea because yeah, he was like, we should go to this graveyard and do this shoot. And it's like, that's wonderful. And I think we are both really into the idea of not being the feature
Mhm.
of it too. It's
Yeah,
like it's about them,
totally.
and you know, we're
Well, and
just
also, are they in the band?
yeah,
And
right.
why are they
The
in the
That's fair. At
photo?
first
confusing
look, you're
like,
probably
And if
is
like,
we
this the
can
band? It's
convince,
so unique.
so you have to come to our first show at the Baked Potato in LA on June 30th to see if they're actually in the band. This information we cannot reveal at this time. So I think just starting that dialogue, with people that don't know the band is like, I mean, I've already had so many people like, well, what's up with the chicks and the on the album cover?
Yeah,
So
it's so fun to just be confusing and weird and just yeah, it's
yeah,
in the spirit of the whole record. It's like just have fun with whatever weird idea comes to your head.
but I was actually listening to some podcast and they were uh, I think it was on thanatology, the study of death, and the guy was uh, I think working in a hospice, and it was the first time I heard the term death doula. I'm like, gosh, there's a death doula. What a macabre title. And if I ever do an instrumental record, I want to call it Death Doula. So
there's just a lot of ideas brewing that just now we're finally here.
yeah. So yeah, at the time I heard the podcast and everything just kind of like the stars aligned, so to speak. Um, so there it is.
Yeah, and I just love the concept of like these two like prog musicians thinking that they can sell themselves as somebody to sit with you while you die.
And John had these cards made up that
Yeah.
said, um, it, it said Missoula on it, right? And then there was a number that said 555 death on it. So
Yeah,
we
it's
were
like
advertising
it's
for
like a business card. Like these guys,
yeah.
they're so just up their own asses that they just
And one of the photos is that we're advertising the LA show for it has the card on it. So yeah, it's catchy marketing. Let me tell you.
For starters, I want to make the comment. These like poor people visiting their family members are probably thinking that like such like that's like a great moment and it's just like you guys making an album cover. Like they have no idea what's going on. They're just walking by doing their thing.
we
It
really
was
like
very
made sure not to overstay our welcome
Yeah,
there.
I'm
We
sure.
realized it's like we
yeah.
have to
We're
try to be
banks.
respectful.
Yeah.
So with you guys, what made you guys pick then the baked potato then for your first ever show and 4 days after the album releasing too?
It's a venue that we've always so John Spiker, who's going to be playing bass keyboards in the band, who's also in Tenacious D. We when we were all in Tenacious D together, we would talk about how we wanted to start a prog band one of these days called Superfluous Wood. And if we do, we always want to play the baked potato. So that's where it's going to debut. So John and I ended up doing Missoula, and then we brought Spiker in later, and it just made sense for the first show to be at the baked potato. I've never done I've played there before, but never like as a proper show. It's also a venue that's very renowned, like in the muso world.
Mm.
I've seen so many bands there. My brother's played there numerous times, Chad, and so yeah, it just seemed like with our style of music, it was fitting to to pick that venue.
Do you guys
Yeah,
go to
it's a
like a
smaller space too, so we don't, it seems like it's the right size for it's your first time out, it's
Mhm.
just kind of, it's a great spot for that. I used to live up the hill from there, and I used to go see his brother play with Alan Holdsworth, and so it's amazing for me to be able to play there. I've never played there before, so.
And it sounds great. I mean, it's like a capacity of 85 people. We're
Oh,
doing
really?
we're doing two
Mhm.
shows there in one night. So, but yeah, it's just one of those venues that we're gonna check off the bucket list.
You answered my question too. I was going to ask because I feel like a lot of times with these smaller venues and bigger artists kind of going to play at those venues, they've had like their own experiences, whether it's not like playing there, but going to shows too. So, John, you answered my next question, which I
Mm.
appreciate.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you guys feel like it's going to be a different kind of experience playing then for the first time live as to what you guys are normally used to? It's definitely a lot more calm and chill, I would presume.
Uh, I'm nervous, like really nervous because it is a whole new, like, kind of the rig, like the pedal
Hmm.
situation and looping and stuff is a whole new thing, and it only being three people, it's it's got to be right. So it'll
Which is
take some work. It's
yeah,
definitely not going to be chill. And I prefer to play and whenever I like the easiest shows to like sit back and just kind of enjoy the show is an enormous show
Hmm.
where you can't see anyone's face. You just play and you're just kind of up there with the guys and everything else is just a sea of whatever. It's the smaller shows that are the ones that are killers.
You guys adding that third member then for the live performances, what made you guys pick Spiker in comparison to maybe others? Because I'm sure you guys have a ton of relationships and friends in the music industry.
I mean, Spiker just as a musician is uh, phenomenal. I mean, he can pretty much play any instrument. Bass is his main instrument. He's an amazing singer. But yeah, he was just, I mean, and in addition, he's just one of our best friends too. So, you know, uh, the personality made sense. You know, he gets the jokes.
Yeah.
He's, you know, and if you tour with someone, you want someone you can blend with. And yeah, so it seems like whatever offshoots we do, Spiker's always included in it. And he's a phenomenal performer too. So that was kind
Yeah,
of
that was like a no-brainer, probably first choice guy, just like our our really good friend who's great at everything. We'll get him.
yeah,
You know,
it's kind of the MacGyver of
yeah.
our industry. And plus, with all the new electronics that we're going to be introducing, if anything goes wrong, I feel like he can fix anything in 3 seconds.
That's
So
fair.
he's just that guy. He thinks, he's always 10 steps ahead. Uh,
Yeah.
and it just, I mean, I already feel better that he's going to be at that show considering everything involved,
Yeah.
logically.
He's whatever he's getting paid and anything he does, it's not enough.
Exactly.
And I want to leave you guys kind of one final question. What is something that you guys like? What is one goal you guys each have for Missoula, either this year or maybe the start of next?
For me, it's um, to really play as much as we can. I mean, obviously we'll do the West Coast, but after rehearsing with John and seeing what this can become, I think once people see this live, it's I think it's going to be a whole new experience. Even if you're a fan of the record, you know, it's uh, it's just going to be, I think more electric live. So I think just playing in front of as many people as humanly possible, and then writing ideas for the next record.
Well, if you guys need a recommendation, if you guys come to Philly, the Solar Myth would be fantastic for you guys to play. It's a
Is that is
very
that
cool
the
venue.
venue? Okay.
It's like a little kind of jazz bar-esque, but you see a lot of like electronic, instrumental bands come through. That's where I caught Joe and Brendan from Fugazi with their band, The Aesthetics, play there. It was a
I
fantastic
saw I
sonically.
saw them play in Brooklyn when they first got together. Maybe it was pre-pandemic,
Like
and it was
2018, I think, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was fantastic. Uh, so I was happy to catch that. So they're still going.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cool.
New album. I think they're up to like their fifth album. They have a saxophonist now that kind of comes in too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool to see the evolution. It's also one of those projects, how I kind of brought up earlier, with you see a lot of times bigger artists come to make these bands and they don't live, or like they don't care about it as much. So it's refreshing to see. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys put out to in the future.
Yeah, I would love to play as much as possible. I'm excited to put this show together because once we're over that initial hump of like building it,
Hmm.
then we can kind of do whatever we want, schedule permitting, so long as there's a fan base to play for. So I think also it's going to be sort of waiting to see how the record is received
Of course, yeah.
once it's released and stuff. It's an easy thing to tour on too. I mean, being instrumental band, like there's no biological instrument to worry about, and uh,
We can play more shows back to back too, and
yeah. I
not worry
mean,
about
I
it.
in some bands that I play with, I sing harmony and stuff too, and I lose my voice so much. I'm just like not a strong singer, and it's just really nice to just play guitar.
The only time you'll have to talk is this is the next song and just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny because I'm talking to my agent about booking a Missoula tour, and he said, "Well, how many days can you guys play before you need a day off?" And I talked to you and John, and we're like, "Yeah, we could do like 5, 6 days in a row." And like if we had a vocalist in the band, there's no way that.
Mm.
So that's one of the perks of doing an instrumental project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you guys so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks
thanks
for
for
having
having
us.
us.
We appreciate it.
Guys, June 26th, there'll be a ton of links down below. June 26th, Death Doula comes out on Org Music. There is records available, signed test pressing still available. And if you guys are in the LA area, June 30th, they'll be playing live for their first ever show, The Baked Potato, which I always love going to people's first show if I'm able to. So whoever's out there should definitely check it out. And until next time, peace, guys.
Thanks. Yeah.
Here.